People think of the word sacrifice in English, and that means to give up something. But in Islam, when you sacrifice for the sake of Allah, you're gaining something.
Nowadays, you go to many places and they just can't go beyond the perception of Islam being linked with extremism, terrorism. How as young Imams are you and your fellow colleagues and the Imams from all these other Jamias going to change that?
We have to engage with the public. Today, it is literally swimming against one of the greatest tides in history, rewriting the narrative about Islam.
The mission that we face is apparently impossible.
Yeah.
How are you going to be doing this? We're a very small community.
We have to demonstrate through our actions that Islam is a religion not only of peace, but it has real practical solutions.
Because my father was an imam, we virtually grew up at a mosque.
Personally, I had never heard the word Jamia before in my life.
Because everything that we are, at least in my personal life, has been the Jamaat.
So I asked one of the Khuddam what Jamia is, and they said that's where missionaries graduate.
So from a very young age, it was kind of understood that our happiness lies in having a relationship with this man whom we call Huzur Anwar.
The 7 years that I spent in Jamia, I was away from my family. I got married 2 years ago by God's grace.
I got married just under 2 years ago. I was able to spend about 3.5 weeks with my wife after our marriage and to come back to Canada.
I told His Holiness before I left that my wife will be expecting in the days that I'll be in Pakistan, but you are our inspiration. When you were in Africa and you found out through Al-Fazl, a magazine, that you had been blessed with a daughter. So we want to follow your footsteps. Huzur smiled and then he said, yeah, but you're going to have WhatsApp. Today, I only know her through an online relationship. It's an e-relationship. She knows me as this rectangle that talks to her and whatnot.
Have you met your child since she was born?
I haven't met her yet. She's about 4 months old.
In 10 hours, you're going to be finishing, culminating, what you spent 7 years, all the stuff that you're talking about.
We don't matter. It's not about Basil or Sabahat or anyone else. That, in fact, is representative of a waqf zindagi. All those people in Africa and Pakistan who don't get to do that, I'm convinced and I believe that they're more deserving than I am of getting that sanad. So tomorrow when we're getting this, I have that in mind, and that's why I'm so emotional.
Nothing could be more perfect of an opportunity to be receiving such a blessing from the very blessed hand of Huzur Anwar. It's almost surreal right now. It's the type of feeling that you reflect on later on because you cannot really entirely grasp the importance and significance of it in your life.
So you've been with this class 7 years.
Yeah.
What was the last discussion you were having about this moment?
You know what's interesting is that last night no one said a word about it.
Yes.
It was just quiet.
जज्बात बाज़ अल्फाज में बयान करने बड़े मुश्किल होते हैं। मेरे जज्बात इस वक्त अल्लाह ताला की हमद से भरे हुए हैं। ये तो एक हिस्सा कंप्लीट किया है अपनी एजुकेशन जो है, तालीम जो है बेसिक किस्म की, लेकिन आगे सारी ज़िंदगी जो है उस तालीम को फैलाना, उसको आगे बढ़ाना, ये आगे अल्लाह ताला उसमें हमेशा कामयाब करें इन सबको।
जो इस मकसद के लिए आए हैं यहाँ पर, उसको आला रंग में ये कर सकें, और जो हमारी फीलिंग है उसका तो अल्फाज में कोई मैं बिल्कुल कतन बयान नहीं कर सकता।
After the Khalifatul Masih, the most patient man in the world is definitely my dad, and that I would be nowhere without his support. He gave everything, everything for me.
आप लोगों ने भी वक्फ का एक अहद किया। अब वफा का तकाज़ा ये है कि इस अहद को पूरा करके दिखाएं।
It just passed by so fast that when I got close, Huzur Anwar heard my name and he said the complete name. He said Basil Raza Bhatt, and then he looked at me and began asking for my health right up there.
I'm nervous. I hope I don't mess up, because you have to take the certificate and you have to take the Quran and whatnot from Huzur Anwar, and you also have to shake his hand, but you want to kiss his hand as well. and then the whole world is watching. Huzur's speech put everything into perspective. You know, we've read about Wafa for 7 years, the idea of loyalty. But Huzur Anwar, he said, look at the Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him. If you want to know what loyalty looks like, this is loyalty. And it made me realize that I have to develop my inner Abraham. You realize that you're sitting there, feet away, having lunch with Hazrat Khalifatul Masih. So Huzur Anwar was walking, he left his seat and got up to leave. And he came very close to us. In the rush of it, I was just in awe of his beauty and the majesty and grace of that man. So I didn't notice, but somebody had stuffed something into my hand. It took me a moment to realize that it was actually Huzur Anwar's tissue, as well as the blessed wipe that he had used to clean his blessed hands with. I remember that was the moment where I just burst into tears. It was my first mulaqat in the new office of Huzur Anwar, and it's difficult to describe, like for a man to love like a mother, every person who walks in, you have to see it to understand.
मैं ये बड़े वसूख से कह सकता हूँ, मैं जब इंतज़ार कर रहा था तो मैं बहुत गौर कर रहा था कि क्या मेरी ज़िंदगी में इससे ज़्यादा खुशकिस्मत दिन कभी आया है कि खलीफा वक्त से मुलाकात भी है और मेरा बेटा आज जो है मुरब्बी बन गया है.
It was the fact that I got to meet my spiritual father with my physical father on the day that I received my certificate. It couldn't have been more perfect for me.
ये यकीन करें, डॉक्टर इंजीनियर कुछ भी बन जाता तो शायद मुझे इतनी खुशी ना होती. जिस मकसद के लिए गया है और जो बन गया है, is unparallelable.
I feel great pain for those people who don't have this man.
हम अपने आप को हम इतना बड़ा खुशकिस्मत समझ रहे थे कि शायद हमारे से बड़ा को दुनिया में खुशकिस्मत इंसान नहीं है कोई भी इस वक्त, जो दो हम वाक़ ज़िंदगी खलीफा वक्त के सामने बैठे हुए हैं.
Time was almost over, but for tabarrukat, we needed to get a few things blessed as we struggle to open up the honey bottles. There's 2 of them actually, and we both struggle to open them up. The blessed signatures of Huzur Anwar in the very Tafsir Saghir, the Holy Quran's copy that he himself gave us for the convocation. So that's what I get from Huzur, that he's going to keep giving to us, but we need to start learning to give back.
What do you miss about Canada the most?
Home. Canada's home. I have to say that now I was reflecting on the meaning of the word home, and home is going to be wherever Huzur sends us. That's for Waqf Zindagi, that's going to be where home is.
Yeah, the people. To me, home is the people.
Now you've graduated, you'll soon find out where in the world you'll be.
Inshallah.
What would you guys say is your biggest fear now?
Of disappointing Huzur Anwar and my Lord. When there's this relationship of love and you realize, wow, if I don't do this, he's going to be disappointed. The amount of love that he has, that would crush me most.
Yeah. After the amount of love that he's shown us in the last many years, especially as people have devoted our lives, it would be heart-stoppingly painful.
आखिर में हज़रत मुस्लिम मौत के अल्फाज में मेरी भी ये दुआ है आपके लिए कि मौरद फ़ज़ल व करम वारिस ईमान खुदा आशिक अहमद व महबूब खुदा हो जाओ.